Drought is killing the savannah, and his herd is heading for the last remaining water. But there, in the muddy river, the baby elephant Tembo is snatched by a crocodile. Lions surround them at night, and when the old matriarch drops dead, the one-year-old calf loses his family and is left alone against hyenas, the scorching heat, and an endless burned-out land. Can he remember the ancient path to water and find his way home? The African savannah is dying of thirst. The grass has turned to dust, the earth is cracked, and the sun is scorching everything alive. Across this blistered land, a herd of elephants slowly trudges, led by an old, wise matriarch who remembers the way to water. Among the massive grey bodies, in the shadow of his mother, walks a one-year-old calf named Tembo, pressing close to her leg. He has soft grey skin with sparse hairs, curious dark eyes, and a tiny, clumsy trunk that's still learning its way. His mother wraps her trunk around him, guiding him, calming him, and in her shadow, Tembo fears neither the heat nor the endless emptiness. The elephant herd is a family, bound by blood and memory, where every female protects every calf as her own. But this year's drought is worse than any before. Water holes have dried up one after another, and the herd weakens with every step. The old matriarch leads the family toward a distant river, the only water for dozens of miles, following an ancient trail of their ancestors. The journey lasts for days under the blazing sun, and little Tembo struggles more and more to keep up with the heavy strides of the adults. At night, the herd doesn't stop, because hesitation means death, and Tembo trudges on with his last bit of strength in the darkness. At dawn, water finally gleams ahead, a narrow, muddy river, and the exhausted herd quickens its pace towards salvation. The elephants wade into the water, drinking and spraying themselves, and Tembo splashes joyfully beside his mother in the cool, murky flow. But death lurks in that river. Beneath the brown surface, crocodiles glide, having waited for prey through long, hungry weeks. A massive crocodile lunges from the water and grabs Tembo by the trunk, trying to drag the little one into the depths. Tembo screams in pain and terror, and his desperate cry instantly rouses the entire herd. His mother spins around and slams into the crocodile with all her might, churning the water and slashing it with her tusks. The herd closes in around them. The females trumpet and pound the water, and the crocodile, unable to withstand the assault, releases the calf. Tembo scrambles onto the bank, trembling, with a wounded trunk, but alive, shielded by the mighty grey bodies of his family. The herd moves away from the dangerous river, and his mother gently probes his wounds with her trunk, soothing him with a low rumble. But trouble doesn't come alone. That same night, the herd catches the scent of lions, and the predators stalk in the darkness after the weakened elephants. The lionesses target Tembo, the smallest, and charge at him from the tall, dry grass. Tembo runs to his mother, and the herd instantly forms a circle, sheltering the calves in the center of a living grey fortress. The adult elephants turn to face the lions, trumpeting and advancing, and the pride retreats before the wall of tusks and trunks. Morning brings a new disaster. The old matriarch, the leader of the herd, collapses from exhaustion and never rises again. The herd surrounds their dying leader, touching her with their trunks, and even little Tembo feels the family's grief. Without the old matriarch, the herd loses its knowledge of the way, and the elephants wander confused across the scorched plain, searching for a path. In the chaos and dust, Tembo gets separated from his own, runs after a stranger's shadow, and suddenly realizes he's all alone. He calls for his mother with a loud, trumpeting cry, but around him is only the empty, heat-shimmering savannah and a ringing silence. A lone baby elephant wanders across the cracked earth, his tiny shadow trailing behind him through the golden dust. At night, Tembo hears the cackling of hyenas, and soon the pack surrounds him, snapping their jaws and creeping closer and closer. Tembo presses his back against a termite mound, swinging his trunk and trumpeting as he desperately fights off the pressing predators. He kicks out with his front legs and charges at the hyenas, and his courage forces the pack to retreat for a moment into the darkness. All night long, Tembo holds his ground, never closing his eyes, and only the dawn drives the hyenas back into the tall grass. Exhausted, but alive, the young elephant remembers the lessons of the herd and heads toward the distant scent of water and greenery. He trudges for hours, swallowing dust, but he doesn't give up, because the stubborn memory of his wandering ancestors runs in his blood. At sunset, Tembo climbs a hill and sees below, by the Green River floodplain, the familiar huge grey shapes. It's his herd, which has finally found water and life, and Tembo trumpets at the top of his lungs, charging down the slope toward them. His mother hears his familiar voice, turns and races to meet him, and they intertwine trunks in a cloud of golden dust. The whole herd surrounds the returning calf, touching him with their trunks, and a chorus of joyful trumpeting echoes across the savannah. Tembo stands in the circle of his family, by the cool water, under the protection of his own, home again, alive again, not alone again. The rains finally come to the savannah, bringing the scorched earth back to life, and the herd moves on through the green, leading Tembo into a new life.